All right, good morning, folks. Happy hump day. Do a quick sound check here. Groovy Jeff, Mirza, Omer, Lorna. All right, guys, good to go. So, couple things to cover here this morning. Bigger picture. We'll do bigger picture, then we'll do the shorter term. Bigger picture for the QQQ. We have a brand new weekly squeeze. We've got brand new weekly buy signals. Bull trend, bull structure, bull momentum. A plus setup on the weekly chart. That calls for a push towards 470 and change. So bigger picture, until we lose that signal, I think eventually the Qs want to push towards that 470. In the shorter term here, it's been a strong market, but not a very balanced market. It's mainly been a few tech stocks and the semiconductors. Shorter term, things are pretty overbought. Trading about 3 average true range moves above that 21 EMA. You can see that here for the QQQ. You can especially see it for the semiconductors, SMH. They're about 4 ATR above that 21 EMA. And then, of course, the king of the hill, Nvidia. Very, very extended. Doesn't mean we have to pull back. Just means probabilities-wise, we're at a point in time where some kind of pullback would make a lot of sense. And I happen to think it would make for a good buying opportunity. With all that being said, this morning, we've got the NQ and the S&P futures down just shy of 1%. On the NQ, we have a 1 hour, 30-minute, 15-minute, 5-minute sell signal. And we're at some pretty big support here. We've got our daily AEMA. We've got the 4-hour 50 SMA, which we're breaking through at this point. And then we have the hourly 200. Another really important spot. So my thinking is for today and the rest of the week, if they can't get the NQ back above, we'll call it 18,800. If they can't get it back above the hourly 200, then there might be room for a deeper pullback. Get it back above that hourly 200, get rid of all the sell signals, bring on some fresh buy signals, then they can work on taking things higher again off of that daily AEMA. If they can't do all of that, there could be a buyable pullback down to about 18,500. With that being said, I don't think today's a day to focus on the stocks. Keep all your focus on the SPX and the QQQ. Take the Q from them. Then you can go look at some stocks. Jump into the S&P futures, down about 0.7. Sell signals on the 4-hour, 2-hour, 1-hour, 30-minute, 15-minute, and the 5-minute. Sell signal across every lower time frame. Now, granted, those are lower time frame sell signals in the context of a really good daily chart. Nothing's changed here, right? Bull trend, bull structure, momentum, buy signal, the perfect score at 12. And frankly, we're not too far from that daily buy zone at the 21 EMA. Down around 52.65-ish. However, it might be a beautiful daily chart. It might be at the buy zone. I can't buy it at the buy zone with a sell signal across every lower time frame. So the key for the ES here, they got to keep the ship afloat above that 52.65. They got to cancel all these sell signals and then get some fresh buy signals. If they can't hold that 21 EMA, there could be a deeper pullback. And then jumping over to Nvidia. Before I show you Nvidia, let's go check out the Dow, the YM. not too hot. So right now the market, it's kind of like a one-trick pony. SMH and QQQ. That's pretty much it. Dow Jones here is pretty rough around the edges. Under the 8 EMA, under the 21, under the 50. Neutral trend, neutral structure, bear momentum, and a big three score of -3. On the Russell, pretty similar. Under the 8, under the 21, under the 50. Neutral trend in structure, and a big three score of -1. So compare those daily charts to the ones in the ES and the NQ. The Dow and the Russell, very neutral, where the NQ and the ES, they've got perfect scores. That just tells us it's not a very balanced market. Not a situation where financials look good and healthcare looks good and energy and the industrials and utilities. It's a couple of tech stocks and a few semiconductors. Healthcare here, XLV, not what I would call a terrible chart, but not a very bullish one. Big three score of 1. A little old 1. Financials, big three score of 1. Energy, a -4. And then there's the SMH, trend, structure, momentum, perfect score of 12, and XLK, trend, structure, momentum, perfect score of 12. So that makes it a one-trick pony. And then for Nvidia here, the king of the hill, right? It's an interesting spot when the king of the hill is really overbought. And again, the thing about being overbought, that can just simply be a sign of strength. Probabilities wise, in the short term, how much higher can Nvidia go without at least a little pullback? Right now, we're about, we'll call it 5 ATR above the daily 21 EMA. Can they take it to 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? Theoretically, I guess, yeah, they could. But how likely is that? And then that 3-day squeeze that just fired, that's about 4 ATR above that 21 EMA. I say all that to say, healthcare pretty soft, energy in the financials pretty soft, the Dow and the YM not too hot. Should we get a bigger pullback here in Nvidia? I would have to think that puts some pressure on the QQQ and the SMH. Being that the QQQ and the SMH are the two best things in the market, that can put some pressure on the SPX. So my advice for today, don't be too quick to get long. Don't be too quick to get short. And again, I don't think a day so far where you focus heavily on the stock side. Major focus for now should be SPX and QQQ. And like I said, for the NQ, the level to defend, 18,800. If they can keep it above that daily AEMA, if they can keep it above that 4-hour 50 and the hourly 200, then they can try to stabilize it. Then they can work on canceling out the sell signals. Then they can work on getting some fresh buy signals. And then from there, they can keep the party going. Don't forget, we've got that weekly squeeze. So it's bigger time frames versus smaller time frames. The bigger time frame says, hey, let's go to 19,500. Let's go another 700 points higher. The lower time frames say, all right, that sounds fine and dandy, but maybe not yet. With all those sell signals, maybe not so fast. Maybe a pullback first, then they can work on a path higher from that weekly squeeze. Alrighty, folks. And we've got no open trades right now, which I'm actually a bit content with. If the market gapped up 2% this morning, I'd be a little bit salty. But I am happy to be cash in the room for now. We had some T-Mobile yesterday. We had bought calls last week here in the daily and the 4-hour squeeze. And then yesterday, caught ourselves a push towards that big 169. And we sold those calls for about a 50% profit. Frankly, it's a good setup. Daily squeeze hasn't fired. A plus setup. They've got one on the 2-day squeeze. And they've got one here on the weekly. I would love to reload some T-Mobile. I'm not going to reload that until I get a bit more clarity from the QQQ and the SPX. I don't got to be the first guy to buy the dip if the indices have nothing but lower time frame sell signals printing. But I do like the T-Mobile. And then a couple more from the scans last night. Broadcom. And again, here's the context. Indices first, sectors first, and then the stocks. Whether it be Nvidia, Broadcom, AMD, Micron, LRCX, SMCI. If the SMH pulls back here, I don't think any of them will buck the trend. I don't think Broadcom goes to 1600 while the SMH pulls back. But I do like that Broadcom weekly squeeze, so pull back would not be the worst thing. Very solid weekly, bull structure, bull momentum, bull trend, buy signal, perfect score of 12. Not today, not this week. Bigger picture, though, that calls for a move towards 1600. Although they do have earnings on the 12th. Got to keep an eye on the earnings. Another one from last night was WDC. A great setup. It's going to gap down about $1 this morning. You have to have the wind at your back from the market itself. No wind at your back. It's a good-looking setup going nowhere, but I do like it. A plus on the 2-day time frame, the daily time frame, the 4-hour, the 2-hour, and the 1-hour. A lot of A plus on A plus action. LRCX. A plus on the weekly. It's a brand new weekly squeeze. I'd love to buy it around 940, 925. AMAT. AMAT on the 3-day. I'd like to buy that around 210, 205. And then one that's not perfect just yet. The 3-day squeeze here for Coinbase. It's a little bit similar to Nvidia from about a month ago. 3-day squeeze prints. Bull trend, bull structure. That can't turn into an A plus setup until we get bull momentum. They got to take the histogram. They got to pull that through 0. Then we'll get our 3-day buy signal. Then we'll have an A plus setup. Not saying that's going to happen, but if it does happen, that could shape up for a move towards $300. I think pretty similar to Nvidia, where you had the 3-day squeeze printing, you had bull trend and bull structure. They finally got that momentum cross. Off goes the 3-day squeeze. So we'll watch the Coinbase develop. But all right, guys, that's all I got for you this morning. Nothing I would buy at the open, nothing I would short at the open. Patience is the trade for now. Very big spot here for the NQ, though. Tricky spot. Do I want to buy it at the 8 EMA? Not with a 1 hour, 30 minute, 15 minute, 5-minute sell signal. Do I want to short it at the daily 8 EMA? I don't think I want to do that either. Trend is bullish. Structure is bullish. I've got a buy signal. I've got the perfect score at 12. Above the 8 EMA, it's a much easier long when we get lower time frame buy signals. It'd be a much easier short if they break that 8 EMA. Patience for now. So any questions, anything y'all want to take a look at, drop it in the chat, and I've got you covered. But I am happy to be in cash as far as posted trades. Let me show you guys my progress here so far. So since I finished the update for the indicator, I've got 5 plus 13, 18 A plus trades under my belt. The ones with the asterisk, those were posted trades. So SPX, Vazon, Wells Fargo, Lemonade, or Nvidia rather, T-Mobile. 13 wins, 5 losses, 72% win rate, average win of 66%, and an average loss of 33%. The loss from last week was Merck, the big bad MRK. Very, very simple management. I bought MRK for the same exact reason I bought T-Mobile. A plus daily squeeze. One of them worked as advertised, that one being T-Mobile. And then Merck over here, Friday morning of last week, no longer an A plus setup. My reasons for taking that trade to begin with, they disappeared. You have to cut the trade at that point. Oh, but I've got a week till expiration, or I've got a credit spread, or I think we're going to bounce off a support. Is it still an A plus setup? No. Take off the trade. You hold on to MRK, you're getting whacked yesterday, and you probably get whacked again today. All that unnecessary whacking can really hurt your bottom line. Food for thought. NQ down about 1% here. The king is bleeding. The almighty NQ. The almighty NQ is wounded like a big lion. All right, let me see what y'all have got. Let's see. Let me get a fresh watch list going for us here. We'll get a freshie going. Today is the 29th, Wednesday. My thoughts on Nvidia for today. It's not really a spot where I can buy it for a swing trade. Way too far above that daily 21. Way too far above the 3-day 21. What I would do for Nvidia, or a name like Nvidia where you're overbought but also very bullish, nothing but lower time frame squeezes. For conversation's sake, from here, if Nvidia goes from 1,140 to 1,300, along the way, a lot of the 15-minute, 30-minute, 1-hour squeezes, they're going to fire in the direction of the overall trend. That's where I'd find my setup. That's where I can control my risk. Sometime today, Nvidia gets an A plus 15-minute squeeze. I can buy it above the 15-minute 21 and then control my risk and take off that trade on a break of that 15-minute 21. I've only got to risk a few bucks. And then if the squeeze fires and they keep the party going, I can pull in a little bit of cash. But we're not at the point where I can buy it for a swing trade and then take the $200 pullback to the 21 EMA on the daily chart on the chin. So something that overbought and that strong, my thinking would be nothing but day trades. Day trades on lower time frame A plus setups only. All right, KC, we sold Merck on Friday. In the Centrals room and in the Mastery. I sent out alerts on Friday. PDD. No A plus setups on PDD. Therefore, for now, something I wouldn't focus on. Apple. Same thing for Apple. There's a 4-hour and a 5-minute squeeze. Brand new 4-hour squeeze. Watch that develop. And again, guys, I don't think today is going to be an Apple thing or a Google thing or an Nvidia thing, a Tesla thing. QQQ and SPX. If today is day one of a bigger pullback for the QQQ, Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Tesla, Meta, etc., they probably pull back as well. Before I can buy an Apple or a Microsoft, etc., I've got to see a little progress here on the S&Ps and the Qs, mainly from their lower time frames. Good-looking daily charts. At the open, they're probably not going to have the best-looking lower time frames. All that's got to clean up first. Oh, Jen, I'd love to hear it. Awesome. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I am always here to help. Groovy Jeff, do the Bitcoin futures have a correlation with Coinbase? As a general statement, yes. As a general statement, yeah. And you'll notice they got a pretty similar 3-day squeeze. BTC has a 3-day squeeze. Coinbase has a 3-day squeeze. They both have bull trend and bull structure. They're both missing bull momentum. My thinking would be if 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months down the road, BTC breaks out, heads towards 80,000, Coinbase, Mara, MSTR, BITO, they should make a similar move to the upside. Vice versa, BTC spends the next 1, 2, 3 months trading sideways. Then I think it's tougher to get a big push out of Coin, Mara, MSTR. They are birds of a feather that flock together. Hey, what's up, Chan? My brother. Chuck, what's up, Big Chuck? Yeah, we did an update about 2 weeks ago. So log onto the website, go to the indicator page, go to the Big 3 Squeeze tab, and then towards the bottom of the indicator page, there's a document called Scans, Watch List Columns, and Share Chart Links. The updated code for the watch list columns is on that document. Shoot me an email if you need some guidance. Robert. Good morning, Robert. Good morning, Terry and Keith. My man, Terry. Robert, Marvell, weekly, 4-day, 3-day, and lower time frames. Marvel, huh? Spider-Man and the Hulk. Yeah, I've got A plus on the weekly and the 3-day for the old Marvel. Let's go take a peek. Very solid weekly squeeze. With that being said, they have earnings tomorrow after the close, which of course can always be a bit of a coin flip. They could gap it up 20%, they could gap it down 20%, and everything in between. But that's a pretty weekly squeeze. It's the kind of weekly squeeze I would take to the junior prom. Noberto, yeah, you can buy the Big Three squeeze as a standalone indicator. If you go to the website, go to the indicator store, you'll find that as a standalone, meaning not in the overall bundle. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Young and Irvine, I'm using the same scans that you guys have access to for now. I'll probably send out a few new scans in about a week or so, putting on a few finishing touches. My man God's Will, what's up, brother? TMDX. Sounds like a wrestling group. TMDX, 4-hour, 2-hour, and the 1-hour squeeze. We've got a trio. Solid. Bull trend. Sounds like a Mexican dish. Bull trend, bull structure. If they can get the momentum cross down here, that 4-hour squeeze could do some nice things. It's riding that 8 EMA like a momentum donkey. We like that. Yeah, Jeff, I think we got a few videos as far as the indicator install. But I tell you what, I'm gonna drop my email in the chat for you. If I can spell my own name correctly. Jeff, shoot me an email. If you want, send me a screenshot of your charts, and I can help you walk through that, my friend. Twilio as a short. Mm-hmm. Yeah, all day long. Twice on Tuesdays. It's A plus on the daily and the 1-hour. Twilio. Yeah, I like it. The bigger question I think would be, does the market put in a bottom today? Or do we get a few more days of a pullback? We get a few more days of a pullback. I don't want to go short at Google. Right, good trend, buy signals, all the above. I'd want to short a Twilio. A plus short, sell signals, busted structure, bear momentum, meaning it already looks a little bit vulnerable. Vulnerable in a strong market. We get a weak market for a few days, then that potentially can bite the dust. So that's a great call out for a short. Great call out for a short. I won't tell Sam, don't worry. I won't tell Sam. But all right, good people, I'll let you go here. Cash market opens in 14 minutes. And yeah, we are at support for the NQ. We will find out if support can hold. But right now, NQ is not the bigger problem. It's the YM, the small caps, and a little bit of the S&Ps. S&Ps and QQQ, they definitely look the best. So take it minute by minute, take it hour by hour. You don't got to be the first guy or gal to get long. Don't got to be the first guy or gal to get short. In my level here for the NQ, to avoid a further flush, would be to stabilize the price back above that 18,800. They can stabilize the price by one, getting it back above that 18.8, and then two, getting rid of all the sell signals. They can't do that. There's room for a bit more of a pullback, which in the grand scheme of things, I don't think is the end of the world. I, for one, wouldn't mind a bigger pullback, especially being that we're in cash. We got cashola. But all right, folks, as always, thank you for your time. Have a great Wednesday. Trade good, be safe, take your dog for a few walks, and I'll talk to you soon. Adios.